Daily check-ins daily. Today is what is today? I can't remember. Thursday, July 6th. This is my daily check-in. The daily check-in with Russell of Hotels. I do these every single Monday through Friday, or at least I try to do it. So 99% of the time it's going to happen. Every now and then that 1%, gets kind of funky, and I'm like, I'm not going to do it today. That kind of stuff. But for the most part, I do it. So I'm just making sure that I am live. Normally I'm live on LinkedIn and live on YouTube. So I just want to make sure that I am. I know I'm live on YouTube because it gives me a notification, but LinkedIn sometimes can be kind of funky. Oh, there we go. There we go. So we live on LinkedIn too. So comment box is on. So if you guys want to make comments, you want to chat, feel free, because this is all about being interactive, just in case you did not know. I see Craig Giangrosso. Hey, Craig. Craig's out there in Texas. He's out there outside of Houston, right? So, Craig, thank you so much for joining. I see you've been traveling quite a bit. You've been doing baseball games. You were in Seattle. I know you took in at least one Mariners game, and I believe you're at checking out your Astros earlier this week, I think. At least that's when I saw it. So we need to do a live quick and soon, quick, fast, and in a hurry. But we'll get to that, Craig. So, but no, thank you so much for, still doing what you do. And Craig has a podcast, Baseball Talk with Craig Giangrosso, as well as he does some entertainment stuff as well, I believe. So like music and stuff like that. So check out Mr. Craig Giangrosso if you would. But hey, Russell of Hotels once again doing his daily check-in. Daily check-ins are all about hospitality, hotels, things like that, tourism, what's going on in the industry. From my perspective, ain't based on everybody else's perspective. It's based on, what I see in the news or what I think is important. And then I'll bring it to the people. So right now, this is the Moxie Hotel, Moxie downtown LA. This is their lobby, kind of funky, got a funky vibe, you know what I mean? So, and I always tell people, oh, what's the newest hotels, in LA, or wherever. I'm like, oh, check out the Moxie Hotel. But I always make sure I tell people that just because it's new doesn't mean it's for you, okay? Because some hotels are geared to certain demographics, if I can say that, right? Some of them are funky, and some of them, everybody wouldn't like it. Moxie Hotel is not for everybody. Okay, so it's like I said, it got a funky vibe. Some of the rooms could be a little smaller. Some rooms maybe can be a little darker. Hallways could be a little dark. I mean, it's just not your different. I mean, it's just a different kind of vibe. But as you can see, the lobby looks cool. To me, it looks cool. Very communal. They invite people to come in, kind of hang out, have a drink, use their Wi-Fi, kind of hang out. That's what the premise is for at least the lobby area, right? The rooms are smaller because they want you down in the lobby. So, there's always a reason why hotels are designed certain ways. Smaller rooms, that means they want you to come down and spend money in the lobby. You can't spend money in your room. Okay, so get out, come downstairs. There's a coffee bar right in the same area, kind of around the corner. There's a bar right there. You can see it. So, that's what they want. They want the entertainment. And then at night, I want to say after like 5 o'clock, they got a DJ going. So it can be kind of loud, right? So it ain't for everybody, right? But I love it. I love the vibe. And I just love new hotels, right? So Craig says, have you got the new app that everyone is talking about? It's called Threads. No. Let me put your comment up there, Craig. No, I have not. I have to check that out. Let me write that down, Craig. Let me write it down. Craig is keeping me up on the apps. Okay. I'm going to check it out. Okay. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. So you guys make your comments. As you can see, I put the comments right there so everyone can see. I appreciate Craig coming on. I do these lives, like I said, but I always have an agenda, right? So I always have a couple of things that I want to talk about, discuss, or just have a conversation about. You know what I mean? Tomorrow, I mentioned this yesterday, but I'm gonna do a daily check-in tomorrow. But tomorrow's gonna be with someone. I'm gonna have someone on to be like a guest, right? And we're going to have a conversation about Black women of hospitality. So that's going to be interesting, right? So I'm going to have Miss Stacia Harvey Randall. She's the Vice President of Black Women of Hospitality. She's going to be live in Atlanta. I'm going to be live here in LA. Together, it's going to be fire, of course. So it's going to be a conversation about that, that organization, how she got into the industry, maybe some of the pitfalls that she went through, and how this organization, Black Women of Hospitality, can help avoid further pitfalls for Black women coming up in hospitality. Because it ain't easy, right? It's not that many Black women in hospitality, and I'm speaking from the hotel side, right? Going into management and things like that. And a lot of times people won't even try to go into the industry if they don't see people that look like them. I mean, just be honest. That's just how it is. When I came into the industry years ago, I'm not a Black woman, but I'm a Black man, right? So when I came in, were there a lot of people who look like me? No, there was not. But back then, I just knew that when I got into how I got into the industry is that I actually went to school and majored in hospitality management. Okay, so or HRT, hotel travel. What was it called? What was it called? HRT, hotel, restaurant, and travel management. Okay, there were three of us that were in the major. Three people in my particular classes, right? It's three of us. Only two of us decided to win the hotels. The third, I don't know where she is, but two of us came out. One of them is Victor Simmons. Victor Simmons is the vice president of human resources and D&I with Ace Hotels, based out of New York, right? So two of us, got in, two of us made it out, and two of us are still active in this hotel space. But yeah, Victor is the vice president of HR with Ace Hotels. So it does happen, but the thing is, bring people with you as you come, right? Because like I said, you want to bring people because especially these days, what's going on now, a lot of times they don't even give us a shot to do well, to get into certain industry or to get into colleges now. That kind of stuff. So, I mean, you guys know what's going on. I don't need to make this into a political show because that's not what I'm about. But it is what it is. I mean, I hate to say that. I hate that term. It is what it is. But it is what it is. I can't do nothing about that, right? But tomorrow, Black Women of Hospitality, Miss Stacia Harvey Randall, Vice President of Black Women of Hospitality. She's going to be on the show. It's going to be tomorrow at 9. It's going to be 9:00 my time, which is noon her time in Atlanta. Okay, so this is going to be early, but it's going to be the daily check-in, but it's going to be with Miss Randall. So it's going to be fire. Craig says, I'm going live. What did Craig say? Craig says, I'm going to go live on Instagram and talk more about it, the new app and more. Okay, all right. Very good, Mr. Craig. I'll try, if I'm available, I'll try to check it out. So no, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Boom. Like I said, I always got an agenda, right? Always got an agenda. So I got 1, 2, 3, at least 4 things that I want to cover. Okay. So, first and foremost, I posted my trade show protocols. Remember, I talked about that a couple of days ago, maybe earlier this week. It could have been on Monday, right? But when you read these protocols, I want you to re-listen to or watch the daily live that I did on that same day when I explained the protocols. But because I left off some tips that you may be interested in, like using Blink, as a device to if you run out of business cards, right? What is Blink? Blink, well, go back to the podcast and listen. No, I'm not going to say that. Blink is an app. I have an iPhone, so you can go Blink to the App Store, BLINQ, and it's a way you can put your information in there. It creates a QR code, and basically, if the other person just has a phone, bloop, and then your information automatically goes over to that phone. Just in case you don't have your business cards, you have Blink. So a lot of people are just using those things. And Blink is free, right? Free 99. You guys know I love free stuff, right? So free 99, Blink. You don't have to get the card that they're advertising on TV, or I mean, I see it in magazines, whatever. It's this card. It's like this brass card that costs like $40 and all that stuff. It costs $40 for the same information that Blink is doing for free. Hello, free 99, $40. Okay, whatever. Hey, it's your money. You do what you want to do with it. But for me, I go with the value. And like I said, I've had it for, I don't know, not even a year yet. No, let's say 6 months. In fact, someone hit me to it, right? Somebody educated me on it. I was at a trade show and I ran out of business cards, right? I was at the pre-trade show. It was like, there's the, what do you call it? The pre-reception. Okay, so there's a reception at night before the trade show starts the next morning. And I didn't have my cards with me. I mean, I had maybe 5. I don't know why. And I think I was lucky to have those 5 cards. The other ones were in my room. And this young lady comes up to me and says, hey, and I was sitting next to them when we were having a conversation. She goes, hey, let me have your card. And I said, well, I don't have my card. You don't have your card with you? That's okay. Do you know what Blink is? I said, no, I have no idea. And she told me. I downloaded the app right there as we were having a conversation. And it took me all of 5 minutes to put my information in there, including a photo, including my, I didn't put all the, put my photo, my number, my email, my company name. And then later I went ahead and put the links to my like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all those kind of things, because you can do all those within the Blink app as well, right? So, and then everyone has all the information, right? There's no reason why they cannot contact you, okay? Or they don't have the, you say, oh, I didn't get the information. Yeah, you did, because I gave you the Blink, okay? I blinked and there it was. So yeah, so go back and listen to that, listen to the podcast or watch the podcast or the talk show, the daily check-in, gosh darn it, that's what it's called, on Monday. And I kind of threw out some tips that are not on that protocol. That's one of the things, okay? So I posted that today. So that's on my LinkedIn page. So just go ahead and check that out, and you get all those trade show protocols. Any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. And I do these things because I want you to share them with your teams, especially hotel directors of sales and marketing, okay, when these things are required. Because a lot of times we do not let people know what they should do. We just send people out there to the wolves, and hopefully you come back and bring some business. Well, you know what? Know what the objective is for going to these shows before you send people out. They should know what the objectives are, and then you should explain what's expected. And you should follow up when they come back. A lot of times these directors of sales, and I hate to say it, no, I don't hate to say it because it's true. A lot of directors of sales do not follow up with their salespeople to see exactly who they met with, what's the next step, any potential out there, any potential for any, business, in the future or whatever. What's the next step for you? Are you going to follow up or whatever? There has to be a game plan, right? Because the work starts when they get back into the office. You can't do a lot of things at the trade show because you're actually, you're having conversations, you're meeting people, you're what am I trying to say? You're establishing relationships, all those things. You have appointments, you're attending dinners, lunches, events. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. So I understand that you can't do a lot of things. Remember, I came from that side, right? So I know exactly what goes on. But when you get back to the office and when you get settled, you need to follow up on the people that you met with. All those stacks of business cards or those Blink, information that you received, you need to follow up with those people. Follow up with an email, some type of correspondence, phone call, whatever it is. Ask the people that you meet with, what is their communication of choice? What they want? Phone calls? Do they want emails? Do they do Messenger? Do they LinkedIn messages? Whatever it is, make sure you communicate in the way they want to receive information from you. There you go. But make sure before you even go to these shows, you know who you're going to meet with. Do your research via LinkedIn. Okay, LinkedIn is a great source for finding out people who they are, what they do, how long they've been in the game, whatever industry that happens to be. All those kind of things are there, right? So there you go. I just thought I'd throw that out there. So that's one. That's one down. But feel free to make comments. Like Craig just made comments, so feel free. I'm here. I'm here for it. Once again, this is a daily check-in. Do these every Monday through Friday. At least I try to, right? So time today is a little early, but that's okay. I mean, we get it in. We get it in where it fits in. Fit in where we get it in. What is it? Something like that. I can't remember. Hotel workers are back to work. Okay, did you guys see that? This has to do with the strike going on in Los Angeles. Hotel workers striking since Sunday. Supposedly they went back to work yesterday. I mentioned that they had not gone back to work, so the indication that I got that they had not gone back to work. But I got an email this morning that they did go back to work sometime yesterday, Wednesday. But that doesn't mean they're still on. I mean, the agreement has not. They have not reached an agreement. So meaning they can go back. They can start picketing again. Okay, so no agreement has been signed. For whatever reason, the union had the people go back to work, which kind of makes sense. The big event is over, right? So they did it because there was a big event going on. So they want the hotels. They want to flex that muscle so the hotels can see that, hey, you guys need us, right? So, let's get together and sign this damn contract, right? Well, I don't think it worked maybe the way, or maybe it did. Maybe they, the powers that be went back to the bargaining table, and maybe, they're sharpening their pencils, and maybe they're, hashing out a new agreement, and maybe that'll be signed in the next day or so. Hopefully it will. But remember, each individual hotel has their own, contract. So to get all 60 union hotels in LA to agree, that's a chore in itself, I'm sure. But they are back to work now, which is a good sign. But it didn't affect all hotels, and I mentioned this yesterday. Some people were calling me like, well, is every hotel on strike? Well, is there going to be a disruption and all that? No, and all the guests that were interviewed on TV and things like that, there was there's no demonstration inside the hotel. These are all outside. So once you, and it's not every hotel that they were demonstrating, right? Well, depending on how big the hotel is, how big the staff is. Like if you're downtown at the Intercontinental, that's a big hotel, right? They have a lot of employees. So of course you're gonna be met with a whole lot of noise and demonstration and things like that because there's tons of employees there. I think that's almost 1,000-room hotel. So there probably had to be somewhere between 400 and 500 employees outside, demonstrating. So of course there's going to be a lot of ruckus, if you will, noise and things like that. But they weren't impeding guests from getting in. They were just basically, chanting whatever they chant, banging on drums, things like that. They had their signs and things like that on strike or whatever. But people were still able to come and go. Some of the things that were affected inside the hotel were some of the amenities. Maybe you weren't able to get extra towels and things like that. But as far as anything else, from what I understand, things were, I won't say going 100%, according to plan, but they had, hotels will hire temporary agencies to come in and do the housekeeping work, work at the front desk, or the managers, who typically are not, they don't work, they're not the face of the front desk and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they're not working. Well, now they're forced to work, right? They're forced to do more than what they normally do. So you got the supervisors, you got the managers, all hands on deck when it comes to that stuff, right? When there's a strike or work stoppage, everyone has to jump in and do whatever they have to do, right? So from what I understand, there wasn't a huge hiccup, but there were some people that were inconvenienced. But let's just say that. But they are back to work now, but that doesn't mean, I'll let you guys know when the agreement has been signed, but as of right now, it has not been signed. Boom. Podcast. Okay, this is a podcast, right? So podcast, and I just got this information that updates, podcasts. How many podcasts are out there? 4 million podcasts are out there. But this is a telling sign, right? We always say, "Oh, there's so many podcasts. There's not another one needed. Oh my God, how can you get through all these podcasts?" And blah 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 blah. Okay, there's 4 million podcasts that are out there, but are they all active? And this right here is a sign that they are not. Shows published in the last 3 days, 88,000. So if all of them were active, that number would probably be quadrupled or multiplied by 10, right? Right. So to say that there's 4 million podcasts out there, and then in the last 3 days, only 88,000 have been published, meaning they published it on different platforms like Buzzsprout or Anchor or Spotify or whatever, whatever they're, because you have to, in order to, a traditional podcast, you have to upload it into a platform. Okay. So like right now, I can use this whole show, this daily check-in that I do. I can use this. I can go to Spotify and it would extract the audio portion only, and then it becomes a podcast. I upload it into my my podcast platform or my page, Russell of Hotels, and then it becomes the traditional podcast, right? That's basically how it works, right? So anybody that does that, it registers somewhere. So if you publish it, it registers somewhere. So 88,000 in the last 3 days, out of that 4 million, which means all 4 million are not active. I always tell people, yeah, there's a lot of podcasts out there, but the average length of a podcast goes 6 episodes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 episodes, and that's it. Because people get, this is not working. Oh, are people listening to me? You know what? People said some bad things about me when I did my podcast. No one's supporting me. People will doubt themselves instead of just going for it. Did I have those same doubts? Some of them, but I was going to keep going, right? So I've done 212, right? So the average episode is 6. I've done 212. 212 that have been published, okay? That's not counting all the lives that I've done, like this or, my daily check-ins or whatever. Now, if I counted all those, it would probably be about 500 at least, but I'm not counting those, right? So continue to do what you do. If you're on the fence about doing a podcast, don't think that there's that much competition out there. But everybody's not doing what you do, and everybody does not bring to the table what you bring, right? Even if there's someone else that's doing a live hospitality talk show like I'm doing, they're not me, and I'm not them. So they're bringing different things to the table or to the microphone, if you will. And remember, everybody's experience is different. All the stuff I'm talking about is based on my experience. How can someone else have the same experience that I have? There's no way. We're 2 different people. Okay, so 2 different people, 2 different walks of life from 2 different areas. It doesn't matter, okay? And you have 2 different followings. So don't get caught up in all that crap, because you'll let yourself talk. You'll talk yourself out of doing things. And why do that? What fun is that? So yeah, there's 4 million podcasts out there at last count, but in the last 3 days, only 88,000 have been published, which means all these 4 million podcasts are definitely not active. Boom. Why promote your brand on a podcast? Let me move that up. That's one thing you can do with this. You can just move stuff up, right? You can just, on the fly, just move it up. We're 24 minutes into this daily check-in with Russell of Hotels, just in case you didn't know. I'm Russell of Hotels. Hope you are well. It's Thursday, July 6th. So anyway, I'm being silly. Why promote your brand on a podcast? Well, that's a good question. Did you know that 68% of listeners pay more attention to podcast ads than any other spots on any other media? So any other media, it can be regular TV, it could be, I don't know, any other platforms, but podcasts, 68% of listeners pay more attention to podcast ads than spots on other media. That's one. 75% of consumers said podcasters are more influential than Hollywood stars or social media personalities. Those are good enough reasons for me, right? Let me read that again. 75% of consumers said podcasters are more influential than Hollywood stars or social media personalities. Okay, these are why brands should promote on podcasts, because there's more people that will, more people that will listen. There's more people that will actually do something about it. And hosts can talk longer about a brand. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know this backdrop is right here. That's the if you've driven into this hotel, you've seen this. This is the Level Hotel downtown LA, which is one of my Russell of Hotel sponsors, right? So anybody that's driven into the garage and you park there's a valet parking and they parked your car for you, you've seen this mural. So on both sides of the the entryway. So you've seen this mural before. So this is the Level Hotel, right? How can I lost my train of thought. I gotta be more creative. But I was being more creative, right? You be more creative. So I'm sitting up here. I've been talking for the last 20 minutes, or let's say the last 10 minutes, and this backdrop has been there. You just didn't know what hotel it was. But if I put, all of a sudden, I put this. Now you know this is the Level Hotel downtown LA. That's exactly what that is, right? So you can't do this on regular media. You can't do this on TV. First of all, it's too expensive to do, to promote your brand on regular TV. Okay, more people are listening to podcasts than watching TV these days. And there's another stat out there. Was it 60% of listeners revealed that actively search? Did you know that 60% of listeners revealed that they actually search for a product after it was mentioned on a podcast? So say if they see this page right here, or they see what I'm talking about, they say, "Oh, Level Hotel downtown LA." They look it up. 60% of the people that will listen to this will type in Level Hotel downtown LA just to get a reference point from it. Like, what is this place? I mean, Russell's always talking about it. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at it. 60% of the people listening to this show or listen to this live, this daily podcast, will look at the Level Hotel. And just to make it easy for you, stayinglevel.com, okay? www.stayinglevel.com. That is the website. And then there's some other stats too, right? It's just crazy. Okay. And back in 2020, and this is why promote your brand on a podcast. Some people say, "Oh, podcast is going down." No, it's not. Podcast is on the way up. Okay, it hasn't even plateaued yet. 50% back in 2020, 40% of all Americans, everybody in the U.S., had listened to podcasts or were listening to podcasts. 40%. We're in 2023 now. 2023 is not even over. It's a little bit more than half over, right? 50% podcast listenership. Okay, so that's 50% of Americans listen to a podcast. I'm not saying they listen to every podcast. They do listen to podcasts. Do you know there's 331 million people in the United States? So just say half of that. Let's just say it's 160 million people listen to podcasts. That's why you should promote on that, okay? Because more people are listening to podcasts than some other things or some other form of media. So why not put your brand out there? Just throwing it out there, just letting you know, giving you stats to support it. That's what I do. Russell of Hotels, that's what I do. I mean, I do a podcast on air with Russell of Hotels and the Daily Check-In. So these are all considered podcasts, right? Just because you can see me does not mean it's a podcast. That does not mean it's not a podcast, right? It's just a creative spin on it. And How creative can I be? Okay, let's just look at it. How creative can I be if this is your brand? Okay, you have Level Hotel right there. Let's see if I can go to the next one. What's the next one? Is the next one Level Hotel? Okay, now Level Hotel, one of our sponsors. Okay, stayinglevel.com. They have that Russell of Hotels rate, ROH 23. There you go. So I've talked about Level Hotel for the last 15, 20 minutes. Okay, so what other media can you do that? Whatever media is doing that, whatever talk show host is doing that. So talk show hosts could be a lot more creative about it. They can do different things. They can, like I said, they can show that. They can show this. There's a lot of things that you can do. You can go back to where I was a while ago. That's actually the living room at one of the rooms, one of the suites, right? All rooms have a balcony. All rooms have kitchens. All suites are either 1, 2, or 3 bedrooms. The square footage of this one right here, this is a 1-bedroom, 700 square feet. The average hotel square footage is between 300 and 350 square feet. There you go. So I'm just dropping information, right, about the Level Hotel. So you can be as creative as you want to be doing these lives, right, or doing a podcast for a brand. So, you're like, why promote your brand on a podcast? Because they're more creative and people are going to remember it. And remember, the stats don't lie, right? The stats that I shared with you, they don't lie. So it is what it is. Get on board. So yeah, Level Hotel. This is another hotel. This is Hotel Fig, one of my favorite hotels downtown LA. I was there just, hanging out, just vibing. You know what I mean? It's one of those hotels with a cool vibe. It's downtown LA. Building was built in the 1920s. It's one of my favorite hotels. One of my favorite independent hotels downtown LA. Okay, Hotel Fig, which Hotel Figueroa. It's on Figueroa, right across from LA Live, which is right across from the Crypto Arena, which is where the Lakers, Clippers, Sparks, and Kings play. Okay, and then it's right next to was a Microsoft Theater as well, where a lot of concerts go on. Just as well as Crypto Arena, there's a lot of concerts that go on there as well. So it's not too far, maybe another block or so going south, and you'll be at the convention center where Anime was. Okay, let me just mention Anime real quick before I get off of this live. So we're at about 32 minutes, right? Okay, so Anime, the large, convention expo that was here July 1st through the 5th, meaning it just ended, I guess, yesterday, right? Yeah, it just ended yesterday. There were so many people down there. Do Anime and just Google Anime Expo and look at the pictures, the photos, the comments, about, how many people were there. It was crazy. It was packed. Some people were not happy about just how it was. I don't know if they say it was or unorganized, disorganized, how the convention center was. And I don't know if that's the result of the people that put it on, or is that the people that, that manage the convention center. I'm not sure. But just look at the comments. I just look at the comments and kind of form my own opinion. But I rather people look at the comments and the photos, and you form your own opinion, right? So, but it's definitely well attended. From what I understand, every year it's gotten larger and larger and larger. And it's a lot of times they have to wait in line. And the last several days, it's been 80 degrees downtown. So just imagine being outside for 2 hours. And that sun, and you're in your anime costume, and that sun is beaming and baking. Okay, beaming and baking. So, yeah. So just look at those comments, and let me know what you say, what you think about it. But anyway, so that's it. I do these lives like I said, every Monday through Friday. It's called Daily Check-In with Russell of Hotels. I also have a live hospitality talk show called On Air with Russell of Hotels that comes up every Tuesday at 1:00 PST. The next show will be show number 213. So there you go. And it's a podcast as well. So once the show's over, it becomes a traditional podcast where it's just the audio portion of it. But in order to be good at doing these lives and doing podcasts, you have to be consistent. Okay. And that's what, that's one thing that I am. I'm always consistent. You want to continue to do that. You don't want podcasts that are, here today, gone tomorrow. You want, ones that have some, that have been around for a minute. I mean, I've been doing this since 2019. Like I said, 200 and going into my 213th episode with the show On Air with Russell of Hotels. But these lives, these daily check-ins, I've been doing these. They weren't always called daily check-ins, but I always did lives. I always collaborated with different people, from around the world talking about hospitality, right? But if I had to count how many lives, and then throw in the podcast too, it's got to be roughly at least 500 times that I've done this, maybe even more. I'm just gonna say 500. I'm just gonna stop at 500. But I'm pretty sure it's more because, like I said, I've done lives almost daily, for a couple years. So I'm gonna say at least, and sometimes more than once a day. And that's not counting the times I've been a guest on someone else's. This is just the time that I initiated. So when you're looking at podcasts to do promotions and things like that, one thing you should be looking at is the consistency of how they do it. Are they consistent with it? Are they here today, gone tomorrow? Or do they have a track record where you can actually look and see, oh, he has been on this long? Because once you do these podcasts or these live hospitality talk shows, they're there forever. You can go to LinkedIn, YouTube, and find the track record. It's there, right? There's no hiding. I don't delete anything that I've done. You'd probably be amazed how many videos I've done, because I go back and look. I'm like, damn, I've done that many. Damn. Okay. All right. But yeah. So there you go. Russell of Hotels. I'm about to sign off. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys rolling with me. Appreciate you guys supporting me on this journey to podcast perfection. I'm never gonna be perfect. I just continue to do it because I love doing it. I love the hospitality industry. I love talking about it. I love having people coming on talking about it. So there you go. I'm here to stay. I ain't going nowhere. But remember, tomorrow's daily check-in was going to be at 9 o'clock in the morning here in California time. I'm going to be having a conversation with Miss Stacia Rando. She's the HR director at a hotel in Atlanta. We'll find out which hotel it is tomorrow. But her organization that she's going to be talking about is, once again, Black Women of Hospitality. So that's going to be tomorrow at 9 o'clock. You can see on the ticker. Okay, so anyway, let's have a great day, great evening. Happy Thursday. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Peace.